What's up? What's up? It's your boy Paul P. I serve God. I'm not God. This is just my opinion. And welcome to the Nothin to Some podcast. Man, we are in the building. I'm very, very excited to be here with all of you today. We got a show, man. We got a show. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to go over. We got some things to discuss. There's a lot going on out there. There's a whole lot going on out there. Also, too, man, it's kind of cold in this building today. And I got the hoodie on and everything like that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm in LA, so the weather is great. Nothing wrong with the weather, but the building that I'm in, people blood is different. So you got some people who want it extra cold. You got some people like me who like the heat. I got little heaters and everything around me. But you gotta compromise. And when it come down to me, man, I don't like issues. So if that's the way most people want it, they can have it that way. So it's a little cold in the building. So I got the hoodie on, and everything like that. Plus, to be honest, I could hear a lot better with the sound not being so loud in my ear. So putting the earphones over my hoodie, it actually sound a lot better. It's a lot smoother. You feel me? But yeah, man. Hey, before we get into it, I want to say this too. We need to say a prayer for all of the single fathers out there who end up in child support court. Oh my God. Oh my God. We need to say a prayer for all of them. Because, man, I've been watching these cases. I think this is new to YouTube, these child support cases. If you don't watch it, please watch it to get more informed. Me, I love to learn. I don't know if that's something a lot of you have noticed about me. A lot of times I switch up kind of like topics and subjects that I talk about because I be learning new things. I love to learn. I always say a man who is as strong as he could be is a man who understands you got to continue every day to rethink and relearn everything so you could continue to grow. So I love to learn. So ever since these child support cases been coming out, I've been watching just about every video that come out. And of course, a lot of us been knew it, but this system is not built for us, man. Not today's system. And we're going to talk about some things a little bit later, but I just want to point that out. Today's system, just be real. Ladies, any ladies that are watching, can I just vibe for a second? And if I'm being honest, can you say, I may feel a certain type of way, but he not lying. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to connect really quick. But this system, today's legal system is just not built for men. So men got to be very strategic because, man, these guys out here who are single fathers having kids. And trust, I don't understand a lot of them who got 3, 4, 5 kids. I'm like, dude, you know what's going to happen from that, right? But these fathers who go up in the courts, they always get ate alive. And a lot of times, too, it'd be situations to where, hey, the mom don't work. They always made sure the mom was good. They showing cash apps of money that they sent. They keep the child 50% of the time. All of that, right? But they still end up paying child support. A massive amount of child support. Boy, we got to pray for y'all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want kids one day. Now, at this point in time in life, am I like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't have kids? No. Not at all. Not with the way this world is. No. But, will be a blessing to have a son or a daughter to continue on my legacy when I'm gone. But when I'm gone, I'm gone. I don't know what the heck is going on this earth. I'm gone. I'm in heaven, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know what's going on when I'm gone. But it will be good to know, like, hey, when you leave, you have a seat on this earth. But man, when you watch a lot that's going on right now, when you really focus on what's going on right now, I'm not hurting to have kids, and I'm not running to have kids. I could be patient. I don't care if I'm a 60-year-old OG. Have them right before it's time for me to check out. Be like, okay, my C, you got about 10 years of child support, baby. Nah, man, I'm a Christian man, so my hopes is to have children with my wife. You know what I'm saying? With my wife. But I'm just saying, if it go the other way, I'm going to make sure you got about 10 more years. So you better get your boy while you can. Nah, man, I'm joking, man. It's just it's crazy. It's crazy out here, man. So I'm like serious, man, when I say, we gotta pray, man, for these guys out here, man. Hey, and we're just in a different time, man. Men have to adjust. You have to adjust to where the world is at right now. This isn't for the men who were here during that time. This isn't the 90s. I'm not gonna go as far as the 80s. If you was living, if you was doing things in your 80s, man, you kind of like you over the age limit. You should be retiring somewhere, right? But I'm talking about like growing up, the ones who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, and even the 2010s. Man, you better start adjusting. This world is very different, and it's not going to change. In fact, it's going to get worse. So men got to adjust. The women don't have to adjust. The women, they got it made right now. With where the world is at. And maybe rightfully so. I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying what's going on. So men have to adjust. We actually got a topic we're going to get into today where I'm kind of like speaking on an area where men really need to adjust in today's day. Because if you don't, you're going to put yourself in a very bad place, right? So we got a topic we're going to get into, but let's go on and get into the topics. I'm only going to jump into a couple of topics today, right? Also, too, before I jump into topics, I'm going to start something new that I'm going to start doing, right? I'm going to start putting out a video every day, 6 a.m. called The Daily Word. I'm going to basically pick a topic in today's media or world. Just pick something that's going on that's viral or popular, and I'm going to involve the faith in a Bible verse with basically showing the lesson in that particular topic. All right, so I'm gonna do this video every day at 6 a.m. So this is for the early risers who are on their way to work. Just want to look at something early, who support this channel, who I appreciate. I appreciate all of y'all who support this channel. The numbers have been looking pretty decent lately, and it's been a long journey because, like I said, man, when I had to start back from ground zero, when I started focusing back on the faith and, focusing more on the faith, and I wasn't, doing the things that we were doing on this channel before, I lost a lot of subscribers, or a lot of subscribers stopped watching. So the numbers dropped dramatically, and we're now starting to turn that corner, man. And I appreciate everyone who continue to rock with your boy, people who listen and watch. I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate y'all. I really do. I really do, man. I want to give y'all one of these. I want to give y'all one of those, man, because it's been a long journey. But I will say this, during that journey, having to, do things differently financially, I had to learn a lot of this stuff on my own. So I could say that I learned a lot too. During that time, I started, recording in the back. I didn't record in the back. For people who don't know, I didn't record in the back before, like back here. I didn't record back here. I started this up to save money, just to be honest with you all. You got to know how to save money, right? So back here, I could control the show myself. I don't need nobody here to control anything for me. And I could do a show as much as I want to, right? So if the numbers ain't hitting and the show not making money, guess what? Oh well. I'm not paying anybody to come back here and work the cameras and work anything. I'm working it all myself. So I had to learn a lot on my own. So God put me into this direction for a reason. God knew what it would do for me. And God know what he's doing when we have no idea with what he's doing, right? He know what he's doing, man. And you just got to trust him. And I trusted God. I trusted him. And I'm starting to now finally see what he's doing. And I'm just so grateful and thankful. So everyone who has supported me through this journey, thank you. Everyone who is new supporting, thank you. And man, we're going to keep going. No matter what, I'm not going to stop. Rather I have one of you watching or rather I have 100 of you watching. I'm not going to stop. And I also want to put out there for everyone too who's watching, man. And I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it. Hey, if you ever want to support the channel, you could always super chat. I'm not afraid to ask for super chats if you want to do a super chat. If you really feel like the show is good, the show is building, the show is growing, and Paul P is doing a great job, hey, send a super chat, man. I'm always show love and thanks to all of you who want to support this channel, support me and support all the guests who are on this channel. I will always be thankful for you all. So hey, if you want to send a super chat, hey, just go to YouTube, go towards the comment section. It'll show you how to do it. All you got to do is, hit the little dollar sign, boom, boom, boom. And hey, super chat, we go. You know what I'm saying? God is good. Man, he's good. What? All the time. All the time. All right, let's get to the topics. So today I'm going to get into two topics, but the first topic, the reason why I'm only going to get into two topics, because the first topic that I'm going to get into is going to be broken into parts with what I'm going to be talking about. So the first topic is basically we're going to get into this Ryan Hinton situation. I said Ryan. It's Rodney Hinton. Basically Rodney Hinton was killed by the Cincinnati police after running during an alleged robbery, right? And it didn't stop there, because after Rodney Hinton was killed, his dad, Rodney Hinton Jr., allegedly struck a policeman and killed him on impact. He basically, after finding out his son was murdered by the police, he left out of the building, very angry, got into his car, saw police, and he ran him over. He just recently had his bond hearing. His bond was denied, right? And his family wasn't having it. It was a scene that was caused. And we're going to play a little bit of that, right? So we're going to get into that topic. I'm also going to get into Smokey Robinson. Yes. Smokey Robinson. Motown, Berry Gordy, Smokey freaking Robinson. For those who don't know, Smokey Robinson is dealing with an SA case. SA stand for, just in case I say that, because I don't want to keep on saying sexual assault. So if you hear me say SA, I'm talking about sexual assault. So we have Smokey Robinson, who is now dealing with the SA case. And It's not just one woman. It's not two. It's not three. It's four. You know what's so crazy about a lot of these SA cases coming out? I'll never forget when the situation with R. Kelly first came out, right? I was basically saying during that time, I said, look, now that door is opened in the urban music community, you're about to start seeing all type of cases come out. Because I knew when it came down to what R. Kelly did, I'm like, well, just to be honest with you all, and I was transparent. I said, well, I've seen this all my life. In the community I come from, I've always seen the younger guy with the older, the younger woman with the older guy, type situation. And, like the stuff that was coming out about R. Kelly, I'm like, well, this is very common. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. When it come down to me, I always liked older women. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I've always been kind of, for my age, I was always mature for my age. So I liked older women. That's just the way it was when Paul B was growing up. You know what I'm saying? I liked older women, That was just me. But when it come down to the R. Kelly situation, I'm like, oh, we're about to see a lot of cases come out now. You already know monkey see, monkey do. You know what I'm saying? When you see one open the door, everybody about to run through that door. There's other reasons why I said that as well, which we don't got to get into today. But I knew that with that door now being open, we're going to see a lot of legends. We're going to see people. I said this too. I said, we're going to start seeing people who individuals love so much start getting taken down because of what happened with that R. Kelly case. And a lot of women now seeing, oh, wow, okay, they got paid for that. Really no backfire. They didn't lose anything. They got put on a documentary, so they became a little popular too and made a bag. Shoot, we about to all come out now. What? I just kind of seen the direction that was going to go in. So now we have Smokey Robinson. We just had Shannon Sharp. We had Puff. We had people forgot about the Jamie Foxx situation. That got paid and shut up really quick. But it's not stopping, so we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But let's start with Rodney Hinton. Let's start with Rodney Hinton. So, man, this is gonna be very tough to talk about. Very tough. But before we really get into talking about this case and this situation, right? Before I speak and get to hear what you all got to say, because I want to see what you all got to say as well. Everyone who's watching, hear me out, because this is how this work here. This is how it work on a Nothin to Something podcast. I don't want to be the only one speaking. Well, I'm going to be the only one speaking, but I don't want to be the only one who get my opinion and thoughts out. If you have a thought, if you have an opinion, if you have a thought, please write it in the chat. I want to read it. I want to respond to it. I want to see what you all got to say. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to leave a comment in the chat to express your feelings and thoughts about it. I have a strong opinion, and a lot of times, just to be real, my opinion and my thoughts are in the minority. It's not always in the majority. So I like to see how people feel about what I have said. So I want to see your thoughts about this case and situation as well. But before we really get deep into it, I want to read. We're going to start with the murder of Rodney Hinton. And it's so weird. They don't say Rodney Hinton III. His dad is Junior. meaning his dad's dad was the first, but they don't say Rodney Hinton Jr. I mean, the third. They don't say that, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. I'm always gonna look out for the third. I'm the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm Paul Lockett the third. So if he the third, hey, make sure you say his name the right way. But we're gonna start off with that. So I want to start off with reading an article. Let's see. We're gonna start off with reading an article on what happened, because I want to make sure we got a lot to go through with this whole situation, right? And I want to make sure that all of you know exactly what happened and what's going on with this. Like I said, we're also going to watch a quick video of the bond hearing where there was chaos inside of the courtroom because of this situation, right? So give me a second, just getting this article set up right, and then we're going to go with it. Let me see. Almost there. Appreciate all of your patience. About to get to it. Okay. So this is the first article, right? So family of 18-year-old killed by CPD hires private investigators. Of course, we all know by now this is the family of Rodney Hinton, the son who was murdered by the cops. Let's go on and read what's going on with this situation and how it all came about. So the family of Ryan Hinton. Okay, and you know what? My bad. You know, you got to admit your mistakes, and this is live, right? So I got to admit when I'm wrong. So the reason why his dad is Junior, because his name is not, the son name is, and he's not the third, is because the son name is not Rodney. The son name is Ryan, okay? I was wondering why I kept having Ryan in my head, you know, but I know the dad name is Rodney Jr., okay? So, all right, so the son is Ryan Hinton, the dad is Rodney Hinton Jr. All right, so let's go on and get back to the story. So the family of Ryan Hinton announced Monday they hired attorneys to privately investigate the fatal police shooting of their son. The 18-year-old was holding a gun and running away from a stolen vehicle in East Price Hill. Police Chief Teresa Thedgay said in a news conference Friday, the day after it happened. Cincinnati police had just approached him and 3 other suspects during a stolen vehicle investigation. All 4 suspects bailed from the stolen 2021 CRlME SUV and started running from police, some in different directions, according to the chief. 6 quick seconds was the time between the suspects running from the police to the shooting, she noted. One officer started chasing Hinton, saw that he had a gun, and yelled to warn the other officers. Chief Thedgay said, "He's got a gun. He's got a gun," the officer yelled, according to the police body camera footage released at the news conference. It showed the officer fired 4 to 5 rounds at Hinton as he ran in the officer's direction. You know what kind of is crazy about that? I never understand why you got to shoot so many rounds when you chasing after someone. To be honest, I don't even know if they proved that he had a gun yet. That's what the police officer said. But so far, I don't even think he had a gun. You know, I watched so many videos, you know, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only black man who have done this, because I know we get curious sometimes, right? And one day I just went to see how many police videos are out there where they took down a white man, not even a white woman. I'm saying a white man. And every time I seen a video where a white man was being taken down, and a lot of times when they had a weapon in their hand, they were not shot in a kill place, in a place where they were going to be murdered. They were shot in the leg, they were shot in the arm. They were shot just so they could, you know, retreat and you know, so they could calm the threat, what they like to call it. They wanted to calm the threat. But when it come down to a black man The majority of the time, we hear that this man got a kill shot, whether he had a weapon or not. And I know why. We're going to talk about that later. I know why, but it's still unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, man. You know, this young dude didn't get to live life at all. Under 21 years old. And he's gone. Yeah, it's you shouldn't be running from police. I get it. I mean, we all have. I have before too. We all have. But do I deserve to die because I'm running? No. You don't got to shoot. I'm running from you. Mace me or something. I don't know. You know, shock me. Whatever. But you got to shoot me and give me a kill shot. You got to take me out and then shoot 4 to 5 rounds at me. For real? See, that's why it's always important to talk about these stories, man. Especially, I'm a black man. You get what I'm saying? So I'm always going to talk about these topics because I'm a black man. If I have kids, there will be black kids. You know, if I have sons, he's going to be a black man one day. My nephews, I have one right now that's about to be 18 soon. He's a black man, are going to be a black man. I got 2 other nephews not far away from him. They're going to be black men one day soon. I got a lot of cousins, black men, brothers, black men. I got to talk about these topics. Because there's only one step away from this happening to my family. People who I love, people who I know. So it's important we voice these things out. But why do we always got to hear about these young black men getting murdered by the police after being shot 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times? Are you serious? For real? Why? Why you got to get not just one, you got to. Multiple shots. Why? I'm already down. And I keep saying because when these black men are killed, there's no name or age on it. On that person. No name, no age. They not thinking about none of that. So I'm saying we and I, because it's what black men have went through for many years when it come down to this situation. And I'm not saying it don't happen to others. I'm just saying, let's be honest. It's very common. Right? So why you gotta, okay, if you're gonna shoot me, you're gonna shoot me. But why you gotta shoot me multiple times when I'm going down or I am down? Many instances, you hear about the cop constantly shooting when they on the ground. I'm down. You got me. Let's get back to this, man. Hinton was struck and I get it. Look, a lot of times you're like, okay, just finish reading it. You supposed to look, I'm passionate when it come down to these type of topics. So I'm gonna get through the rest of this article. But I just wanted to express, I mean, you reading that and it's like, come on, man. But let's get back to it. Hinton was struck in his chest and arm, Chief Thedge said. The blurred body camera footage is not clear, but the chief said the officer who fired the shots told investigators Hinton pointed the gun at him, which I believe is probably a lie, but let's get back to it. If they feel like their life or somebody else's life is in danger, they have a responsibility to stop that threat, the chief explained. Hinton was struck in his chest and arm, she said. There's no indication he fired any rounds at police, but the weapon was loaded with an extended magazine, she noted at the news conference. Unfortunately, okay, so I guess they did find a gun. Okay. Unfortunately, this is a potential outcome when you interact with police and you are armed with a weapon. Chief Thedgay said at the news conference. It is unfortunate, it is preventable, and no officer wants to go through this. All right, we'll stop there for a second. So far, we all know and we're all clear what happened with the young man, right? The young man was basically running from the police, allegedly, him and some friends, whatever you want to call it, other people that were in the car with him. They got out the car, they started running. They said he was armed. I mean, that's the first time I heard that. Really, I'm going to keep that part of it open because I don't know. I got to do more research on that in regards to him having a gun. But allegedly, he had a gun. They started chasing the individuals, and he was shot multiple times, killed on the scene. So, after that situation happened, I'm guessing his family went to the police station and got information on what happened. After the father found out, with other family members as well, found out that his son was killed and killed by the police, he obviously was not happy. And I'm going to say probably went into a place of not being in his right mind. So he left the scene, got in his car, eventually saw a police officer, and ran the police officer over, killing him instantly on impact. So I want to read this article really quick. Let's read this article just to get more information on this situation before we really go into it, right? And I also, after showing this, want to show a quick video of the bond hearing where the family members was not happy with what was going on, right? And trying to make contact with Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. And it was kind of like a chaotic situation between police officers and the Hinton family, right? But we'll get to it. Let's read this really quick. So, Rodney Hinton Jr., whose son was shot dead by police, denied bond and killing of sheriff's deputy after disturbance in court. So, Rodney Hinton Jr., who authorities say intentionally hit and killed an Ohio sheriff's deputy with a car after his son was fatally shot by police, will remain in jail without bond while he awaits trial on a murder charge. Hinton Jr. was denied bond at a Tuesday court hearing in Cincinnati. He is charged with aggravated murder for the May 2nd killing of Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson. There will be an order of remand with no bond. Please assure the safety of the defendant and any mental health treatment that can be granted. Hamilton County Municipal Judge Tyrone Yates said, the hearing is the latest development in a case that began last week when Cincinnati police shot and killed Hinton Jr.'s son. Police said 18-year-old Ryan Hinton was one of 4 men who were fleeing after officers found them in a stolen car, and that he was armed when he ran. Hinton Jr.'s attorney, Clyde Bennett II, entered a plea of not guilty on his client's behalf and requested bail. During Tuesday's hearing, Bennett asked for Hinton Jr. not to be thought of as a cop killer, but a person with mental illness. I don't think he was a cop killer. I think he's not in his right mind, Bennett said, and I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person that commits a crime under the auspicious control and authority of a mental defect in the condition. As the hearing began, a disturbance erupted in the gallery and Hinton Jr. was rushed out of the courtroom by law enforcement. A man yelled, "I just want my brother to see me." The hearing resumed after the man was escorted out and Hinton Jr. was brought back into the courtroom. Benton told Yates that to his knowledge, the man was not Hinton Jr.'s brother. All right, let's read this and then we're going to get to the video. Prosecuting attorney Ryan Nelson requested that the judge deny bail and presented testimony from a Cincinnati police officer who said Hinton Jr. had met with the police officers and watched body-worn camera footage of the shooting death of his son on the day of the incident. So, we see Mr. Hinton Jr. went to watch the body camera footage with other family members, right? This is when everything happened, right? After he saw that and saw how it happened, it put him in a very bad mental place. And just to be honest, I'm sure he wanted revenge immediately, right? We'll get into the rights, the wrongs, and everything behind that, right? But he wanted revenge. Let's continue on. The Cincinnati Police Department has said his son, Ryan Hinton, appeared to point a gun at an officer while fleeing last week, but the officer's body camera footage does not clearly capture the moment. It's funny, right, that they didn't capture that. They capture everything but the thing that mattered the most. They capture the running, they capture the death, but they don't capture if Ryan Hinton pulled out a gun or not. Go figure, right? Go figure. The Cincinnati Police Department has said his son Ryan Hinton appeared to point a gun at an officer while fleeing last week, but the officer's body camera footage does not clearly capture the moment. I wanted to read that again. After the meeting, Officer CRlME said Hinton Jr. left the parking lot of the police building and briefly returned before driving away. I want everybody to kind of like go into that place really quick and think about this, right? A lot of times I like to put myself in that situation as much as I can. If you haven't faced a situation like that, you could just try to put yourself in that person's place. So listen to what they said. After the meeting going over, hey, here go the body cam footage. Your son was murdered. This is how your son was murdered. Well, they want to just say killed. I say murder because to me it's cold blood murder, right? So I'm going to use murder. Your son was murdered. Here go the footage. You know, my condolences. But, I mean, it happened, right? So just go into the mind of a father who's hearing all of this. So he left the parking lot of the police building and briefly returned. That part right there, he briefly returned. I believe he was thinking at that time, but not thinking from a sane place. I don't think they said anything about him ever killing or attempted murder or anything like that before. So I don't believe the guy is a killer. He just, you go into a dark place. I went to a dark place when I found out my Uncle Philip passed away. Very dark place. It's an out-of-body experience when you lose someone. Everything, it feels like you floating. It feels like a blur. It don't feel real at all. And he's a father, right? Who just lost his son. So let's continue. And briefly returned. Before driving away, Hinton Jr. was very distraught after seeing the footage of his son. An attorney for the family, Michael Wright, told the Cincinnati Enquirer. You got to understand something too. He literally saw his son I don't want to see nobody in my family getting murdered by the police. Nobody. The man saw his son getting murdered. I'm sure he never faced nothing like that before in his life. It's one thing hearing about a family member being murdered. It's a whole nother thing seeing your family member alive and then getting murdered. In this case, by the police. Tragic. Baby then described the fatal collision. Based on witness statements as well as the video, the vehicle accelerated quickly, proceeded eastbound, crossing into the oncoming lanes of traffic directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing and struck the deputy. There was no evidence of skid marks or any other signs indicating Hinton Jr. tried to stop, according to Bebby. And I believe this is the deputy who was murdered. And again, because let's be real, this guy was an innocent man. My condolences go to him and his family. He didn't deserve what happened to him. A very sad situation. Now, was Rodney Hinton Jr. in his right mind? Absolutely not. I think that's something we all can agree to. He was not in his right mind, but it don't mean that this deputy deserved what happened to him. And it's sad knowing now if he got children, if he got a wife, family, now they have to deal with this when he didn't do nothing wrong. Very sad situation. So before we chop it up, have our conversation, about this, and I give my thoughts about the son, being murdered, and about the dad, striking and killing a police officer. I want to play something really quick. And basically this is going to be the video of the bond hearing. It's going to be the video of the bond hearing when the family was at the father's bond hearing for for striking and killing a deputy, and how it got kind of chaotic, right? Give me a second. I'm just setting everything up right now. Give me 1 second. So get to the video. And also too, I just want to say this. These type of situations, what we saw in the court, like I come from a very big family, man, a very big family. I'm gonna be honest, it wouldn't have been no different if this was my family. We come in large. We come in quantities. It's many of us. And if something happened to one of us, we all there. And I know things changed in my family, but I'm sure that never changed when it come down to my family. You're gonna see 100 plus. And you're going to see some who's acting out, some who's calm. But for the most part, if one act out and you start to move on that one, everybody getting up. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what it is to come from a big family and go through situations like this. But all right, let's go on and get to it. All right, so again, let me see where we're at right now. All right, we're going to start like right here. So again, this is going to be just a part of the court hearing, the bond hearing, right? Which bond was denied, but I just want you all to see what happened in court in regards to the family kind of going through a moment in court, and it really looked like it was a situation where it's the Hinton family versus the police, which let's just be real, man. The police is always going to have the upper hand. They're always going to have the upper hand. That's just the world we live in, man. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't get too out of control, but it got a little out of control. So let's go on and play it really quick. All right.
Jr.'s son was shot and killed by a Cincinnati police officer.
This morning's hearing will determine if Hinton Jr. can be held without bond. The judge has just sat down in the seats. Let's listen in live as the hearing is set to begin momentarily.
And Rule 12 of the Rules of Superintendents of the Supreme Court. And so I requested every member of a licensed broadcasting staff to fill out a form for filming and recording of these proceedings. And the only provisions that I would order the press that no witness or victim who objects to being recorded, you can't record those persons, but I think you know that, right? So that would be the order, and thank you for filling those out. You wouldn't normally do it, but because of the nature of this case and the high public profile, this is what we're doing. Under the rules of give orders of me granting to the court, I will ask her to mark them as the court's Exhibit 1 and to maintain them for the record going forward. Is everyone ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is there a case that's going to be called?
Your Honor, Rodney Hinton.
Thank you. Mr. Bennett, at the prior hearing before today.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Have a seat, sir.
Sit down. That's my brother.
No, let it go. Get him out, let it go.
Mr. Bennett, was that the defendant's blood brother?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor. No.
All right.
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's resume order. Can we have the defendant's
Yes.
name, please? Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to come back to the desk here. We're going to keep watching what's happening, but at the commotion, it sounded like the man who stood up there, it sounded like he said he was the brother of Rodney Hinton Jr. As you saw on the video there, police, deputies, CPD, Hamilton County, and even onlookers, everybody stood up as that man was escorted out of there. We are having some audio issues with the courtroom, but we're going to do our best to listen in.
Yeah, and if you've been to that arraignment room A in Hamilton County Justice Center, you know that this is definitely many more people that are typically in that room. So you see perhaps protesters, family members. We also saw Rodney Hinton Jr. then get escorted back out. So we are waiting to see when this will resume. But of course, we now have audio back. So let's get back into that courtroom as this hearing proceeds.
Good morning, Mr. Hinton. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. We're here this morning on the issue of I believe, yes, at the prior hearing, there was a waiver of probable cause, Mr. Bennett.
Judge, I'm going to waive probable cause as a result of being acquainted with the case. I'm waiving probable cause.
Thank you so much. And is there a plea this morning?
To the plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Plea of not guilty?
Yes.
Will you enter a plea of not guilty? And thank you. And as to bond, the state has requested a hearing on the issue of bond or bail. You may be aware of that.
I am aware of that.
Who would like to proceed?
I'm proceeding, Your Honor.
Thank you. And would you please speak loud enough so that everyone can hear you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Louder.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Is it okay if he begins?
Judge, he has a burden.
Okay. Thank you. Clear and convincing evidence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we will call our first witness, Officer Beebe. Where would you like Officer Beebe to stand, Your Honor?
Okay, we're not gonna really get into all of that. He was denied bond at the end of the day. They did not grant him bond. When it come down to the lawyer that he had, the lawyer was actually I would say a fairly good lawyer, right? But I believe that, come on, you can't do nothing but expect that they're not gonna give bond after killing the police. We know how it goes, right? And look, maybe rightfully so, right? But all right, I want to play one more now. I could have played this before that video, but I saw there is a video out where the family, and I just want everybody to just kind of get a feel of the family. You know, they come from a very big family. You can see I come from a very big family myself, so I understand what coming from a big family is like. It's a beautiful thing to have that support. So I just want to kind of just show a little bit of the family talking about, you know, first and foremost, Ryan, who was killed by the police, right? And they briefly speak on the father, but I just want y'all to see the vibe of the family a little bit before we get into you know, just talking about this and breaking things down, right? So let me go on and let me see. I'm gonna just show a quick little video, and I may skip a little bit here and there during this video. I'm not gonna play the entire video. But I just want you all to just get a vibe of the family. So I may skip a little bit of the lawyer talking and just go straight to I believe it probably was his sister and then his grandfather. Right? So let me play a little bit of that.
Thank you for coming out. My name is...
Hold on 1 second. Trying to get the to work properly.
Michael Wright. Thank you for coming out.
Papa Halliburton, John.
Hold on. I don't know why the sound isn't properly coming out of that video. Give me 1 second to try to work this out.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael
That
Wright.
particular video, the sound is
Attorney
coming
Michael Wright.
All right, let me try to let's find the right video. Let me see. Right, speaking court. All right, that's the father.
Thank you for coming out. My name is... Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael Wright. Attorney Mike. So was disturbing.
That's kind of weird. Just see.
I seen.
Okay, this one worked. Y'all seen that, right? I put up like 3 videos and none of them are letting me play it. Let me try this again.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Dry. So that's why we're doing.
I'm saying it's time to just move on now. No revenge.
In the game process,
He made an accident hard for him and his.
I guess the sound isn't
He was
great
real
on
loving,
it.
like you felt his love.
Heal off this.
Really
I want
to
everybody
play
to
some
heal
of
off
video.
this.
Let me see.
You know, it's like a mistake. I really feel bad for the officer who was shooting because I can see the scariness in him too. People can't see it because I'm Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Officer should have just pulled out his gun
Alright.
and shot at Ryan. It's not that cut
It
and
look
dry.
like there's problems
So
with the
that's why
sound.
we're doing the records request.
All
We're
right,
gonna
we're gonna
analyze
skip that. It
frame
looked
by
like there's
frame
problems with the
each
sound. I don't know
one
why.
of these
videos
videos to determine
I watched
why
some
the
of the
officer made that deadly
the
decision.
press conference the other day, and the sound, I believe, was fine. You know, but yeah. If you haven't listened to that yet, for the people who may want to hear the family speak, I would say definitely go in and check it out. You could tell that they were a very, very close family. I was able to relate, you know, to the family when I heard them speak, because I'm like, well, you could tell they was close. And when it come down to my family, you know, we were very close like that, you know, coming up. Anywhere you see one of us, you was gonna see all of us. You wasn't just gonna see 1 or 2. You wasn't just gonna see 10. You was gonna see 100 plus. And I could tell his family had that same type of vibe. I could tell his family, you know, was really close and tight knit like that too, you know, when I saw this video. So, you know, it touched me. It touched me when it showed like the family just all coming together. And when one got emotional, they all went, pulled him, give him a hug, you know, showed him like you could tell that they had a very, very tight relationship. And it was just, it touched me, man, because, you know, I know what it feel like to lose a family member, like a close family member. I know what that feel like. And when that happened, all you have to turn to is your family. It ain't really too many other people outside of your family that you trust in those situations, especially trust with your feelings and emotions and your thoughts. So I know how important that bond is during a loss in the family. So when you have a big family, it really helps, you know, getting through a situation like that. So I was just trying to show the family bond and connection, you know, but for some reason the audio is not the greatest on those videos. But if you want to watch it, you could go find one of the videos on YouTube, you know, just type in Ryan Hinton family speaking with lawyer, you know, or speaking in front of the media. You know, type that in and you should be able to find it, right? All right, now I want to touch on I want to speak and give my thoughts on the Ryan Hinton situation before I get into the father. All right? Cuz to me there are two totally different situations. Two totally different situations. You know, when it come down to the son, he was plain out murdered. They're saying allegedly he had a gun. I don't know, but he was murdered. When it come down to the father, as we know, he was not in his right state of mind, but he committed a crime. He killed a cop. So these situations are very, very different. So I want to focus on the son first, Ryan Hinton. Let's be real, man. When it come down to this story, it's a very, very tough story to talk about. You know, it's one of those stories that it's hard because at the end of the day, I know it's right, but I understand the pain that this family is feeling. I'm not saying that because I spoke on this. I'm not saying that because I've had a family member killed by the police, which hopefully not, because we question stuff when my uncle ended up murdered. I say murdered. Some may say suicide. We don't know. But we question, was there any law enforcement involvement? Because when we all went to my uncle's house after hearing about what happened, and we were trying to get to his house, a lot of us just started getting locked up. I was one of them. At that time, I was only 17, youngest one that they had locked up. The chief ended up getting there later when it was me and about 8 other family members that they locked up. And he looked at what was going on and said, man, let them go. They just lost their family member. But who do you think had us all hemmed up with cuffs behind us in the back of police cars, drove us to the jail? Who do you think it was who did that? I'm gonna leave that to y'all thoughts. And I want y'all to guess what I'm gonna say this. I want y'all to guess what race y'all think the chief was. But I tell you this, the police who locked us up and the chief were totally different races. It show you how messed up this country is when it comes down to black men and police. It's just the way it is. But this is not about that. We're going back to this situation, right? So I don't understand that part, especially watching a body cam video of your family member being murdered, so I don't understand that part, but I do understand what the family is going through with a loss. Right? Now, when it comes down to Ryan Hinton, my thoughts on this as a black man, and look, man, because we talk about this a lot, right? But it starts to get very old and devastating hearing black men getting murdered by the cops. Like, come on, man. It start getting old, man. It start getting old and devastating just hearing it over and over and over again. And I know people say, well, a lot of people get killed by the cops or whatever. But do you constantly see videos of any other race getting murdered by the cops outside of black men? Let's be real. It gets old. Now when it come down to Ryan Hinton, I mean, was he right? No, he wasn't right. So this isn't about what he did was right. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is killing the young man don't make it right. I don't care what he did. Killing him don't make it right. It's terrible. And with that being said, I got to say this, and this is something I want y'all really to pay attention to in here. Please pay attention to this because this is real. Nobody may understand outside of somebody that is a black man, but I want all of you to hear it. Please listen. There is a lot of fear out here, still between black men and the police. A whole lot of fear. That's why these topics are important to talk about. Because as black men, we see it when we're dealing with them. And as black men, we feel some fear too. But we see the fear in their eyes. And guess what? This is the sad part. That fear that the cops is feeling and black men are feeling during moments like that, that's a fear that may last until we all leave this earth. Until we all leave this earth. That fear between black men and the cops may last forever. That's why I say focusing on race and not God, it makes things worse. Everybody is so focused on their race. I'm like, life is too short. You focus on your race. It don't feel good living all your life focused on my race. Like, we're going to leave this earth one day. If we all focused on God more than our race, we wouldn't see situations like this. You know, one of the main reasons that we see, one of the main problems, you know, as black men that we see with that is that we continue to see as black men that we're not the ones with the gun. We're not the ones who got the license, right, to use the gun, right? And after using the gun with that license, they're not getting prosecuted. So as a black man, we gotta be the ones out here where, okay, in these type of situations, we can't have a gun. We can't use a gun. We don't get licensed to use a gun in these type of situations. And if you use it, you'll be prosecuted. On the cops' end, you got the license, you got the gun, and you're not going to be prosecuted. At the end of the day, as a black man, you gain nothing. You get nowhere from these type of situations, and you always lose. Right? And so in this fear-based relationship between the cops and black men always end up with us black men getting the shorter end of the stick. It's a fact. It's a fact. This fear-based relationship always end up with us as black men getting the shorter end of the stick. In this country, there's not much that we could do but deal with it. Let's be real, right? And I say that because that's how it seems. What can you do about it? You know, like in this case right here, right? A young black man was killed, and we're not hearing about charges being put on the cop. All we hear is that the cop is on paid leave. He gonna be right back. He gonna get his job right back, you know? But the young man who lost his life, he will never ever live another day on this earth. His life is over. I mean, are y'all hearing me right now for a second, man? I told y'all, let's vibe out and be honest. Let's be honest. Let's talk truth. Getting on this mic, having the mic in your face is not just about having fun. It's about speaking the real. And it's about talking about tough topics and subjects that others may not want to hear, but it's the truth. So when it comes down to it, this fear that this country will never fix is a huge problem and deadly for black men. When I start lying, tell me. Please tell me. When I start to lie, don't make my preacher voice come out. When I start to lie, tell me I'm lying. See, when it comes down to this is why a couple of weeks ago when I was doing a weekly word with brother minister Minister Isaiah Kim, when we was doing the weekly word, this is why I backed Pastor Anthony Mitchell for what he said. You know, and he got prosecuted by the majority of black people for what he said, but I backed him. You know, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, he stated that when you deal with law enforcement as a black man are as black people, to retreat and abide by them, even if they are wrong. That's what he said. You know? I mean, yeah, it's sad and it don't feel good, and most black people don't want to hear that, but let's take a step back. The alternative is what we see what happened with Brother Ryan Hinton. Death. That's the alternative. See, when I was young, I thought like a young man, I moved like a young man and acted like a young man. But now I am older, I have to be wiser and think smarter. I got to think smarter because there's so many others behind me I got to think about, man. I can't just think about what I feel. That's why I think it is very dangerous for anybody to ever touch this mic or get on this mic that's out here just saying, oh, no, you don't got to bow to these people. You don't got to do what they say. They disrespect you. Disrespect them back. Man, it's dangerous for people like that to have a mic. That's why I don't be backing all these rappers with the foolishness that come out of their mouth. Because a lot of the foolishness that come out of people's mouth have a lot of young black people dead nowadays. So that's why I will back somebody every day, all day, like Philip Anthony Mitchell. Because all he was saying was that at the end of the day, we got to be able to live to see another day so we could continue to go out there and save souls, save lives, and help others. Because if we're not here, there's nothing that we could do. And the way the world is right now, the way this country is, it's the way it is. I'm not saying don't get up every day and go out there and fight for something better and fight for a change, but don't fight in a way that it's going to take your life. You know, so one thing, what I would tell, you know, these young black men out here is the pride that we feel. That pride that we feel in moments like this, that pride that may even be warranted to feel in a moment when we're dealing with law enforcement, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. Trust me, it's not worth it. Not at all. Let it go. Listen, you know, say yes, sir, no, sir. Shoot. And shoot, I'd take it further than that. If you have to, like a servant, bow. Shoot. Bow down. Get on your knees and bow if you have to. Do what you got to do to live to see another day. A lot of people I know probably not agreeing with me. I already know, man. I already know. I say all the time, my way of thinking is in the minority. That don't make my way of thinking wrong. It's just that I am brutally honest. And at the end of the day, I want to see people continue their lives, live, stay out of trouble, build things, grow, be able to help thousands of more behind them by what they're building and growing. But you can't do it with pride, ego, you know, trying to always stand up for certain things when it isn't the right time and place. There's a right time and place for everything. So you got to be strategic. And a lot of people are not thinking this way. That's why I'm in a minority with this. Most people just want to express their feelings and emotions. Let it out. No, this is what's right. This is what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, what's right doesn't mean that it's the right time for it. You know what it says in the Bible? He may not be there when we call, but he always on time. So while you waiting, be patient and handle things accordingly. So yeah, take those steps. Do what you got to do. Live to see another day. And later on, if you got a case to file, go file it. Shoot, fight the situation the right way. Get a lawyer. Let other men of God, strong men of God, find out what's going on. Get around you, support you, and fight with you the right way. When it's time. But in the moment, you got to let it go because they fear you. And that fear may take your life. It's not right what the cops did at all. But we seeing this happen over and over and over again. And that's why instead of talking to the cops, I'm talking to the young black man. Because as we can see, they not going to change the way they handle things and go about things. They're going to continue to be who they are. So I'm telling the young black man out there, move accordingly, move differently. Don't continue to move the same. Because this is a sad situation right here. It's sad. You know, my condolences, man, go to his family, man. You know, it's never easy talking about these type of topics and situations, man, but it got to be talked about. But it got to be talked about in a way that is going to be beneficial for the young men out there. But man, sadly, a lot of them is listening to a lot of these songs out here, man, that you know what I want to know? I want to know what Ryan Hinton and his friends was bumping in the car before they jumped out and started running. That's what I want to know. See, people don't pay attention. I mean, they don't pay attention to that. Me coming up as a young black man, I know that's a big part. That play a huge part. I told you back in the days when I was hustling, I had to put on some Jeezy Trap or Die. That's a fact. I'm just being honest with you. Jeezy had your boy out here doing all kind of things. I mean, I came from that world, but I'm just saying Jeezy amplified it. So I'm just saying, I wonder what they was playing in their car when they was running from the cops and before they jumped out. Don't make it right what happened to them, but I just wonder about that part right there, right? But now let's switch this up a little bit. Let's go to Rodney Hinton Jr., the father. Now, my thoughts may be a little bit different about Rodney Hinton Jr., right? But let's touch on it. And again, I want to hear y'all thoughts too. If y'all think that I'm off, y'all don't agree, let me know. That's what we do here, because we're not journalists here on the Nothin to Something podcast. We're not journalists. We're motivators, builders, growers, speakers. You know what I'm saying? So we give opinions here. We motivate, we build and stuff like that. So a lot of times things that I say may be opinion based. It's going to be thoughts that come out of my head. I'm not just going to read the article and move on to the next. That's not what we do here. That's why there's no middle ground. Either you like it and you feel it or you don't. But that's why I at least say, hey, I want to hear your thoughts too. But let's go on and get to the pops, right? So after he heard what happened to his son, understandably, he was hurt, angry, mad, and not in his right mind. Understandably. I got it. I feel him. I'm with him. I'm with him right there. But even with all that being said, some may not agree with me, but he was wrong, man, when he did what he did, which was take another man's life who was a police deputy. He was wrong. There's no right to that. like I said, do a lot of us understand? Yes. I understand how he was feeling. But it wasn't right what he did. See, when it comes to me, I always look at the bigger picture, because life is too short and we have to use it for others, not ourselves. Because we know the majority of this world is selfish. Not many of us is selfless. A lot of very selfish people who do things off of your emotions and the way you feel. Whatever you're going through, you are so in deep of what you feel with what you're going through. Nothing else and nobody else matter to you. We are a feeling-based society, which is dangerous, tragic, and terrible. It takes growth to get out of that, but man, try to get out of it as soon as you can. Feelings is why we see murders. It's why we see suicides. It's why we see all kind of negative things. Abuse. Rapes. Grapes. Child abuse. SA cases. It's why we see all of that, because of the way we feel. Right? So I always look at the bigger picture, because I'm not thinking about how I feel. I'm thinking about how would this make others feel. Because again, life is short. So you got to focus on what's important in life, because it's so short. And also too, I think about it like, well, that's the way I should think about life as a Christian man. I always say, once you live life for yourself, you're going to focus on how you feel, your feelings and your emotions, and not how it would affect others if I make the wrong move. Now, like I said earlier, I don't know how, Brother Rodney Jr. felt after seeing and hearing how his son was killed. I don't know how he felt. I have no idea. I haven't lost a son, or I don't think anybody in my family to police brutality. Right? So I don't know how he was feeling. I cannot relate to him with that. Right? Because I've never been through that. But what I do know is that he can't do nothing for his son, his family, loved ones, friends, or anyone on the outside ever again. There's nothing he could do. The support he could have given his family to get through this is over. The message he could have put out there against police who was brutally killing young black men and killed his son is a message that will go unheard now from his mouth. And the effect he could have had on black men going into the future will forever be a mystery, because we will not know. We will not know. He blew all of that. Don't get me wrong. He can still have an impact in jail with young men who, have a chance to turn their lives around. But the huge impact he could have had in this country as a father who lost his son to police brutality is forever gone. And that's tragic. That's tragedy. That's a tragedy. Because I could go out there and start something and preach on the killing of black men and try to, start a foundation and start a movement with it and all of those type of things. But nobody is going to really take me serious because I didn't go through it. It's people like Rodney who could have led those type of situations. or been one of the leaders because he went through it. And I could tell he was a tough black man. So we needed him on the front lines. But that's over. It will never happen. See, you know, in Romans 12:17, I'm going to go there. Listen for a second. In Romans 12:17 through 19, it says, repay no evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. Think about that. Do not repay no evil for no evil. Basically, he lost his son and he wanted to pay the evil back. Give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. That would have been him later starting something to help a movement go to go against the police department to ever do stuff like this again. That would have been that right there. Focusing on sight of all. Continuing with Romans 12:17 through 19, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. But when we in our feelings and emotions, we don't care about that. We're not focused on that. I say all the time, the Bible gives us the blueprint. It tells us how to move. That's why I thank God when I started to get more into my word, because it helped me start to move a lot differently in my own life. I was never one to just go out here and be reckless, but I'm just saying it helped the growth process of my life. Romans 12:17 was basically giving individuals like Rodney the template on how to move and just trust God. And God not saying, hey, trust me and wait 10 years to see the benefits of trusting me. No, he said, hey, right now, do not repay an evil for an evil. Give thought. Do what is honorable in the sight of all. Because vengeance is mine. I will repay. I promise you I will repay. But we're not paying attention to the template that God given us. In this case, Brother Rodney Hinton Jr., he will never get the chance to do something that would have lived past the life he have left on this earth. And it is very sad to see. It's very sad to see. You know, when it come down to it, man, this entire story was sad and tragic. Very tragic story. Very sad story, you know, but I really hope black men, young black men especially, God called it young because they strong, right? So young black men especially are paying close attention to stories like this and learning something from it as well, because the system that we live in, this system, the legal system, it's not going to change. It's definitely not going to change for us. The most feared human being on this earth, black men, is definitely not going to change for us. But the way we move and conduct ourselves when dealing with the system can help us survive. Again, for those who wasn't paying attention to that, the way we move and conduct ourselves when dealing with the system can help us survive and thrive. We all as black men have dealt with situations involving the law enforcement, legal system that put us in the place to where we wanted to react emotionally, reckless, careless, and with total anger. We all have been through situations, but it's how you get through it. You could give them all of that and get what comes back to you, which is going to be nothing but pain and misery. Or you could take it, okay, deal with it, and put together something strategically that can help others around you and build something that could be there to stand tall for the next generation. And for your kids, your family, your nephews, and people who love and support you. It's your choice. It's your choice, man. It's your choice. You know, a lot of times I know people be like, man, Paul P get a little preachy, man. He be preaching. Hey. You know, I'm very passionate, man, I'm very passionate when it comes down to, you know, the community I come from, man. I'm very, very passionate about the community that I come from. Highly passionate. So I'm always going to speak on topics like this because of the passion that I have and because of who I am. Otherwise, I feel like, what do I have this mic for? If you want me to be, I'm not a journalist. So if y'all want journalism on this channel, then I hire a couple of people to come in here and give the news updates every day. Is that what y'all want? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Is that what y'all want? Journalism on the Nothin Something podcast? Y'all got so many channels out here that y'all could go and get journalism from. I'm not a journalist. Paul P is not a journalist. All right? I'm not a journalist. So when you come here, it's going to be opinions, thoughts, a lot of times even educated opinions and thoughts, because I researched it, I studied it, it's where I come from, it's who I am, it's what I be, it's what I do. Right? So I break things down. We have a little fun with it too, but this is not a journalist channel. This is where we really break topics down. But we make sure we include who? God. Because we should not be doing nothing without him. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. God is good. What? All the time. All the time, man. You want me to read a little bit of chat before I get into the next topic? Y'all want me to read a little bit of the chat? Let's see what we got going on in the chat. I see a couple of people, I guess, who was waiting, said they was waiting. We're not going to really read any of that right now. Let's see. All right. We got Tommy Scott. What up, Tommy? How you doing? All right. You should not be able to sue someone for a crime that they weren't charged with. If you don't call the police when it happened, it did not happen. You know, that's one thing I always tell you all, man. A lot of times when y'all in here waiting and stuff like that, y'all just start giving comments about stuff that we haven't even talked about yet. I'm guessing you're talking about Smokey's situation. But let me see if we got anything on Mr. Rodney's situation. All right, we got we got My Sticky Finger Santiago. What up, man? My name is me Sticky Finger Santiago, D Los Angeles County. What's poppin'? What's poppin', man? Let's show some love. And I'm saying that because obviously you're new. Maybe you watch the channel, but it's the first comment I've seen from you, so I appreciate you, you know, just checking the channel out today, and hopefully you continue to come back, man. Like I say, man, we just building here. We touching on topics that need to be touched on in a way that it needs to be touched on when it come down to this culture. So appreciate you, Sticky Finger Santiago. Let me see. P0LlICE account. All right. Profile. Smokey Robinson. Okay. All right. A lot of stuff was. We're gonna go and get into the next topic. A lot of stuff had to do with. I don't know. I guess you know, man. If it's important, I think that you should definitely talk about what's going on out here in regards to the celebrities, right? Like today's topic, I think it's important to talk about this because it's dealing with a huge legend. I mean, he's been doing music for probably more decades than anybody. I'm gonna say Smokey Robinson been doing it for at least a good 7 decades, maybe around 7, 6, 7. 6 sound a little bit too small for Smokey. So I'm gonna say he's been doing what he's been doing for at least 70 years. So it's warranted to talk about, especially when it's something as big as this, right? But it seemed like when it come down to this world, man, we're just so focused on the celebrities, all the time. Which I think that is far more important to not just focus so much on the celebrities, but let's go on and get into this Smokey situation, right? Let's go on and get into this. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's go on and get into Smokey, the legend. So yeah, man, we got Smokey Robinson. All right. Basically, we got another essay case. Another one, man. I know I said a while ago that I was done with talking about these essay cases, man, but I'm like, well, if I don't talk about these cases, am I really doing any justice to our community, to this culture, to even my family, the ones who look up to me and want to know my thoughts? Am I really doing any justice to anyone? And I said, nah, man, you ain't doing no justice by not talking about something that's important. So I was like, you know what? Hey, I got to continue on with the mission. As long as I got this mic in my face, I got to talk about it. So let's get to it. So when it come down to these celebrity essay cases, and I mentioned this earlier, it's crazy because after the R. Kelly case, I said we'll now start to really see the urban music community. A lot of people in the urban music community start going down for this. And it just opened up a box that we're going to see stuff just coming out of, right? Left and right. We had R. Kelly, Russell Simmons that flew under the rug, but it's reasons why he loved this country. We had Fat Joe. A lot of people didn't hear about that. Go look it up. Jamie Foxx. So many more, man. Just had Shannon Sharp, not in music, that's in sports, but still. So many more, but let's read the article for people who really don't know what's going on, right? Let's get to the article with this whole Smokey Robinson situation. Give me a second. And who would have ever thought Smokey Robinson? I'm telling you, man, I'm like, this is the last. This is the last case that I was ever thinking about. Smokey Robinson don't even make sense. So, and look, the crazy thing about it, and that's, it could be why these ladies didn't want to come out with this, is because you already see people saying, oh, nah, this is a setup because it's Smokey Robinson. It just seemed like a setup because what? Because it's Smokey Robinson. Nobody believe it. Why? Because it's Smokey Robinson. So it's crazy, man. Nobody's believing this situation, but let's talk about it. So Smokey Robinson accused of sexual assault by 4 women in $50 million lawsuit. $50 million. Look, I know a lot of people is probably like, man, they're not gonna get 50, but it's a reason why Shannon Sharp recently just offered 10 and they didn't take it. It's a reason why they're suing for 50 million. And reasons you probably have and I probably have no idea about. If they are suing for 50 million, how much you think they were offered and just didn't take? This 50 million ain't just coming out of nowhere. Just know that it's not coming out of nowhere. It's not just, oh, wow, 50 million. They just made up a number. No, no, no. Trust me. There were offers, just not 50. But let's read. So the Motown legend, William Smokey Robinson, has been accused of SA and misconduct by 4 women identified only as Jane Doe 1, 2, 3, and 4, who works as housekeepers for the Robinsons. They were housekeepers. Wow. A complaint filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on the 6th of May lists charges including SA, sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence, and gender violence. The complaint seeks 50 million total in damages for the 4 women. The lawsuit also names Robinson's wife, Frances Robinson, and lists a litany of alleged labor violations, including failure to pay minimum wage, failure to pay overtime, inaccurate wage statements, and hostile work environment. Smokey Robinson towering status was built from decades in the music business, starting with his founding of the Motown group, The Miracles, in 1955. Robinson, 85, claims credit on more than 4,000 songs with production credits, including The Temptations and Marvin Gaye, and he has spots in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And I was wrong. Not even 7 decades. He's been in this industry for 8 decades. Was it 8 decades, man? 85. So he's probably in his early to late teens. So almost 8 decades. Wow. According to the complaint filed by Los Angeles-based firm Harris and Hayden, Robinson's larger-than-life status was an intimidating factor in coming forward with the allegations. Attorney John Harris, speaking at a Los Angeles news conference, contrasted Robinson's status with that of his accusers. They're Hispanic women who were employed by the Robinson earning below minimum wage, Harrison said. A low-wage woman in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assault. Harris emphasized the vulnerability of Robinson's accusers. They all feared missing a payday and not being able to pay their rent or buy food for their families, Harrison said. The complaints show a pattern, not just in the accusers' backgrounds, but in their allegations. Jane Doe 1, 3, and 4 all alleged Robinson sexually assaulted them in the blue bedroom of his Chatsworth residence and laying down a towel to protect the bed sheets before the assault. Jane Doe's 4 count include allegations of rape at Robinson's Las Vegas and Bell Canyon homes. Jane Doe 2 allegations stated that Robinson raped her in the laundry room and garage of his Chatsworth residence, where closed circuit cameras were unable to see. We believe Mr. Robinson is a sick and serial rapist that must be stopped, Harris said. All 4 women also allege a hostile work environment from Frances Robinson and state that she consistently used unethical, pejorative words and language. The complaint states that she failed to prevent her husband's sexual assault despite having full knowledge of his prior acts of sexual misconduct, having settled cases with other women that suffered and experienced similar sexual assaults perpetrated by him. We believe she was aware of misconduct by her husband, Smokey Robinson, and that she used their status as well as the client's reliance on their living wage in order to keep them in check, Attorney Herbert Hayden said. According to Hayden and Harrison, no police reports or criminal charges have been filed against Robinson. See, when it comes down to it, that's the part that frustrates me about these cases. And you know, I stated this before because I don't like these type of situations. I said this in in a Puff situation, you know, with Cassie. I don't like when you go straight to I don't like when you go straight to a lawsuit. If you really been hurt, affected, sexual assaulted, right? Go do a criminal case. Make it criminal. If it really happened, make it criminal. I don't care who it is, Smokey Robinson, R. Kelly, Diddy, I don't care who it is. If they did anything in any negative type of way and it was criminal, they should go to jail. I don't have no, I hope this celebrity never gets in trouble. No, if you did wrong, you need to be dealt with accordingly. I don't care who it is. So the thing that I don't like about these type of cases is that they go do a lawsuit to try to, you know, make all this money from whatever happened, but they never turn it into a criminal case. And when you read a lot of these cases, I'm like, well, if you really got affected like that and this person really did that, why is this not criminal? Why is this not criminal? It don't make, I'm sorry, but that part will never make sense to me. And maybe that's the man in me. So I look, but all I could do is tell you my thoughts from it. And I think that's backwards to go and try to get a bag, but you were so abused and never made this criminal. Just don't make sense to me. You know, just don't make sense. Now, let's talk about this for a second. So we don't know if Smokey Robinson did this or not. I have no clue. It's all alleged. And, you know, just like others, he should get, you know, a chance to prove his innocence if he is innocent. He should get a chance to prove his innocence. It's only right, you know. You know, if he is not, then, you know, he should be treated the right way. But before getting deeper into this allegation with Smokey Robinson, I want to talk about something, you know, I want to talk about a little something. This is for all the young men out there, what I'm about to say. And this is not saying nothing about any of these women in this case. I just have to say this. This is on my mind. So basically, the other day, I was talking to my mom about how different the world is today for men and how men need to strongly adjust or this new world is going to tear them apart. You know, back when I was a teenager and in my very early 20s, we would approach women and even be persistent with not even blinking an eye. You know, back then, if a woman said no, you just may get a little bit more persistent, not in a negative way that's going to hurt or affect the woman, but persistent like, okay, watch, I'm going to get her, man. You know what I'm saying? And by doing that, it may just get you a date. Most of the times that I got the number from a girl or got a date back then, I was persistent. You know, she was playing hard to get. I did a song that she was playing hard to get. The type of girl that make it, you know what I'm saying? The type of girl that make you work. It is not hard to keep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did a song called Hard to Get because that's how girls played the game back in the days. You had to be persistent, right? But today, a man being persistent towards a woman equals sexual assault. Am I keeping it a buck? Am I keeping it 100? This is why I had to change my approach towards girls, which I'm sure most men had to do as well. You know, I have to fully adjust to the world we are in today when it comes to dealing with women. But all men have not caught up yet. Most of them older men. Smokey Robinson age and maybe a little younger, but most of them, I'm going to say a lot of men 50 and up, they have not caught up yet. They're still living in the 1900s mentally. I say this to say Smokey Robinson could be totally in the wrong, right? And may need to pay for all the wrong he has done in this situation. You know, the Bible say you reap what you sow, and you will reap. And see, for all you have done, you know, there's no way out of that. You're going to reap what you've sowed. So if he done this, he got to face the consequences. But back in the days, these older men like Smokey didn't have issues when they were messing with other women and asking these girls to do all kind of things because they had power and money. And in no way, shape, or form is it right at all, but it was never labeled as a crime. You know? So even though men need to understand the world they are living in today and adjust, I do believe a lot of women are taking advantage of the legal system and falsely accusing men as well to get money. Let's keep it a buck. I do believe this is happening because women understand what time it is. That's why men need to start understanding what time it is. And this time you firing me after working for you for all these years and you was getting some cookie? Oh yeah, I'm taking you to court, brother. I'm doing a lawsuit. I was washing your clothes, washing your car, taking your kids to school, scrubbing these walls, cleaning out the pool, cooking you food, and giving it to you when you want it, knowing you had a wife, knowing you had a mistress, and you gonna let me go? Oh, heck no. I'm not gonna send you to jail, but I'm about to embarrass you and get a buck while I'm at it. I'm not saying that's what these ladies did who's doing a lawsuit against them. Absolutely not. I'm just saying until we see the facts, we can't keep saying these men are guilty before seeing them have their day in court. As soon as we hear about these situations, we're automatically saying that they're guilty. And it's wrong. And I say this because as a man, I understand how hard it is for men nowadays. And reasons why I tell men, nowadays you got to date strategically. You have to. You have to date strategically, man. And I'm going to go a step further than that. If you don't trust what's going on out here, guess what? There's other countries out there where you can date as well. You don't got to just date American women. You don't got to just date American women. If you don't trust what you see out here, you can date outside the country. You hear what I'm saying? You know I gotta whisper it because if I say it loud, they like to talk about it. The girls like to talk about it on these channels and blow it up because they don't like when we talk about this. But I gotta let y'all know the secret. You don't have to talk to American women if you don't want to. And you don't know how to because you can't trust it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. At the end of the day, it's your choice. Men just need to know they got options. That's it. Just be smart and start to understand this is not the 70s for the older OGs. This ain't the 80s. This ain't the 90s. This ain't even the early 2000s. This is 2025. And girls are trying to play chess, so don't get caught playing checkers. Period, man. You know, I got some other thoughts when it comes down to the industry and everything like that, man, but I ain't going to get into that. Not today. I wanted to keep it just strictly what's going on. You know, but I do got, if y'all saw other things that I've talked about in regards to this industry, a lot of you know I got other thoughts when it come down to this industry, man. But yeah, we ain't gonna get into all of that. All right, let me just go on and let me see. I'll read a couple of these chats before I get up out of here. Like to always keep it 100. Scoring and healthy. These lawyers are just hustlers of human emotions. That's a fact. We see it all the time. Antonio Anthony, I guess just the heart. Man, what's up, Antonio? Appreciate it. All love, man. Shirley Bedell, repeatedly, so they kept going back. Man, that's what I'm saying. You know, hey, and you're a woman saying it. Hey, I'ma just shut up. I'ma shut up with that one. You said it. You said it as a woman. You said it. Tammy Scott, maybe I'm dumb, but if you as a female experience something you don't like, why do you go back? Hey, y'all are women. Y'all said it, not me. Ava Brown, breaking news. Stevie Wonder has 10. Is this real? Stevie Wonder? Hey. One day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to see about 400,000 more subscribers on my channel. I watch all these channels out here, and do y'all know that I'm the only one that keeps saying you guys' favorite artists are about to have cases in the music industry is about to blow up into pieces. There is a stronghold on this industry. There is spiritual warfare going on in the industry. And there are demonic spirits going on in the industry. I wasn't even going to break that down today. But when I just saw this right here, Stevie Wonder has 10 accusers, which we're going to look up really quick before I get up out of here. But when I just saw this, I'm like, I've talked about this, but nobody wants to hear me. Everybody, you know what they do with Paul P? Man, this dude talking about some stuff. His message is too, I'm not ready for all of that. I'm trying to have some fun. I ain't ready. That's what they do with your boy Paul B. All I'm trying to do is keep it 100. Prepare people for what's coming. That's it. You know, but I want to, let me see. Let's shoot. Let's check this out real quick. Give me a second. Let's see what's going on. All right, let's go see what's going on with Stevie Wonder. Let's see how real this is. Let's see. Stevie Wonder accused of sexual assault. And they even going after the blind man, huh? Sued by a former. Okay. I don't really see, I don't want to just put stuff up there. I don't see too much really right now on this situation. Maybe this is new. I don't know. But after Wonder looked at them, maybe he was joking. See, hold up. You got me over here really like, hold up. It's a case that came out on Stevie Wonder. And I wouldn't put it back. I know Stevie Wonder blind, but hey, let me tell you this. What we done seen out here in the last 5 to 10 years, I don't put nothing past nobody. I think there were some situations out here with Ray Charles before he passed away. So I wouldn't put it past nobody when it come down to anybody. Next week next week we may just see. In fact, when I was looking it up, there's something out on Stevie where he did have an ex. Nothing else is out, but they have something on an ex-girlfriend reporting sexual assault with Stevie, and he had a former employee who and I never knew about this. This was in 2007. So I mean, you wasn't off. You wasn't off. If you go look it up for yourself right now. There is a case out in 2007 for Stevie Wonder. Facts. Shoot. All right, let's read the rest. Christian Silva. This is beyond BS. What nonsense. A guy that high profile scandal free through his long career, always been in a public eye. Now at his age, for non-citizens suddenly accuses him. Christian Silva also said, this isn't going anywhere. Hopefully it's not. We'll see. Mason Williams. Smokey Robinson called it SA case, man. Killed police and then killed son. Mason Williams, I call this a lie. I would never believe this about Smokey. Somebody looking for a handout. We don't play about Smokey Robinson, baby. All right. Damian Furlan. Wow, this is a serial attack on our black legends. And what up, Optimistic James? I don't know what you saying right there, but what up? All right, man. Look, man, I appreciate all of you. Always do. Everybody who stayed kicking it with your boy and chopped it up a little bit. Man, I love you all. And look, man, we're gonna keep it pushing, man. You know, we're gonna keep growing together. We're gonna keep adding things to the channel that make the channel entertaining for you all, and also keep involving things that's gonna bring that presence of the faith to you all as well. Because at the end of the day, I want to see all of you saved, celebrating with us as Christians, you know, glorifying the Lord above, man. So I want to continue to see the growth in that. In fact, I'm going to Bible study tonight. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, we want to grow in that area too. So at the end of the day, man, I love you all, man. It's your boy, Paul P. I am out of here.